This episode of The Dungeon Booth is sponsored by the Sweep.
Ha! Got him. What is good? It's your boy Don, also known as Daddy White, here on the Sweet Podcast.
Daddy White.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Wrong.
So what are we doing here today? Well, my friend has created his own podcast about D&D, and I wanted to do a review of it on this channel, but how can I do that with only basic knowledge of what D&D is and how it's played? I wanted some kind of comparison, some baseline, so I could actually give fair critiques. Well, I thought the Dungeon Booth would be a great baseline because they're the closest I can think of to professionals. I'm a big fan of the voice actor Christopher Wellcap, which is the voice of Aizawa in My Hero Academia, and he had a contest to win a giant print of Aizawa signed by him for just subscribing to the Dungeon Booth and etc. And I had never listened to it up until this point, and luckily I hadn't, or I wouldn't be able to make this reaction video. So there is a filter on the actual audio of the Dungeon Booth because this is not the video to listen to it. The Dungeon Booth is Chris's property, and this is a reaction I'm going to try to do as much fair use as possible under the critique section, as well as add as much commentary as possible. If you want to watch the Dungeon Booth yourself, I would suggest actually going to the channel and watching it in its entirety with no edits. Link in the description. Christopher, if you are listening to this, which I highly doubt you are, just two things. I really enjoyed meeting you at A-Con. I may have mistaken Ian St. Clair for you for a little bit. That's fine. It's cool. He said you don't make any money. That's cool. Inside joke. Never mind. Cut that out. But also, both of our podcasts make about the same number of views. I don't know what kind of views you get on the actual websites or like SoundCloud or etc. But as far as YouTube goes, it looks like we're pretty similar in size. So this is a great cross promotion. So I highly suggest not copyright striking this because I'm not above doxing information for uncredible copyright claims. So fight me, but I really do enjoy your work. So let's get into this.
Welcome to the very first episode of The Dungeon Booth. I'm voice actor Christopher Waycamp.
Wait a second. Waycamp? Have I been pronouncing it wrong this entire time? Wellcap? Waycamp? Oh, man.
You might know me as the voice of Shota Eraserhead Aizawa from My Hero Academia, Miles Edgeworth from the Ace Attorney anime, or Kodai from Star Blazer's Space Battleship Yamato 2199.
Now it's time for a Dawn fun fact. Yamato was the only anime seen by Ty Beard, Vic Mignogna's attorney. Hashtag I stand with Vic. Okay.
I'll be your host and Dungeon Master. I've been playing and running tabletop role-playing games for over 20 years. This podcast features voice actors from some of your favorite anime, video games, and cartoons coming together to play Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition.
5th Edition? That's weak. I wish they were running Extra Virgin Edition. Ninja sex party references. Wow.
Each adventure is a standalone one-shot game. After a game ends, a new one will begin in the next episode, complete with a whole new cast of voice actors. This first game marks my return to playing D&D 5th Edition in person, and I can't tell you how good it was to get back in the DM seat and run a game. That said, you'll have fun discovering the spots where I made a few mistakes.
It's probably easy to make mistakes.
While the rules are
in
necessary
D&D.
and you can't hold the game together without them, what I've always loved best about playing D&D is the collaborative storytelling that can happen at any given moment. I love that the story can go anywhere, that it's fun for it to go. I've been working on putting this podcast together for over a year, and it's been in the back of my head for long before that. And I feel like the time is right for it, and I hope you guys enjoy listening to it as much as we enjoyed making it. Oh, and stick around all the way to the end so that you can hear a preview of episode 2.
I mean,
And now,
spoiler alert.
without any further ado, meet the Game 1 cast of The Dungeon Booth. First up, in alphabetical order and sitting in front of me and to my left is voice actor and Funimation ADR director, Felicia Angel.
Yes, Felicia. I also got to meet her at A-Con. She is one of the main 3 girls in Keijo. She's the invisible girl in My Hero Academia. She's Amelia in Devil is a Part-Timer. She was a delight to meet, and luckily I got to get a photo with her because I was kind of hesitant to get photos at first because of cost issues. Some people charge, some people don't. So I didn't really want to spend all the money at first, and she was the first autograph I got. I had my one free item that I had signed, and then also I bought a print. So I didn't get her photo, but I got everybody else's photo after that. So on the very last day, I ran up to her little booth thing. It was like, can I get a photo? And I got one. So, awesome.
You said it right. Nobody says it right.
She is best known as the English voice of the invisible girl Toru Hagakure in My Hero Academia, Shaltir Bloodfallen from Overlord, the Supreme Kai of Time from the video game Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and Emiyusa, the hero Amelia from The Devil is a Part-Timer. Welcome, Felicia.
Kind of stepped on Chris's toes there.
Hey. You are playing the half-elf lore bard Limerick.
Yes.
Whose bardic magic is derived from limericks.
Yes.
And wordplay, and that allows her to both improve her fellow adventurers' chances of survival, pass nearly any skill check, and wreak havoc and discord on her enemies.
I don't understand what any of this means.
What attracted you to playing a lore bard?
My life.
Your life.
I've seriously, in all the times that I've roleplayed, I usually go for bard or rogue, someone with some wiggle room to sort of do the unexpected, gives me room to mess up a little bit and call it in character.
Okay.
That's actually
that sounds
pretty
good.
smart.
If you could, please describe Limerick's physical appearance, her attire, any
Cute
noticeable
face,
equipment,
thick thighs,
and
soft breasts,
just kind of her general
unstable
demeanor
personality.
this morning as she sets out on the road to meet the carriage that will pick her up.
Right. Limerick is of an average height and weight, being a half-elf. She does have elven features as far as face shape and ears, but more rounded human facial features. She looks like she spends a lot of time in the sun, some sandy blonde hair, tan skin. She is wearing all of her favorite colors, which is just all of them. Many layers of skirt to dazzle. And she's in a fairly good mood.
Okay.
Limerick tends to put out a little bit more of a happy front while she coolly assesses a situation to see if it's worth her time.
Okay.
That's pretty
Very
high
good.
maintenance.
Very good. Well, glad to have you, and welcome to the game. Next up, sitting directly to my right, is voice actor and indie video game scriptwriter Jill Harris.
Oh,
she is
I
best
don't
known
know
as
who
the
that
English
is.
voice of Mandalay, the leader of the Wild Wild Pussycats hero team in My Hero Academia.
Oh, all right then.
Noelle Silva in Black Clover, and Naho in Orange.
Hi.
Welcome, Jill. So you have decided to play a mountain dwarf barbarian, Erica, who is very skilled at battle. She's very tough, but also sometimes goes into a embarrassing barbarian rage to soak up damage, and it allows her to crush her enemies and drive them before her.
Okay, I understood that a lot more
tell
than
me,
the last
what was
one.
it about the barbarian that made you think about wanting to play it?
I like the idea of a very shy girl who's very strong.
Okay, I'm calling it right now. This is probably going to be my favorite character. Best girl. She attack, she protect, but more importantly, she is shy wreck.
Yeah.
And just kind of that battle of, oh, I'm strong and I should use this, but I wish I were more feminine.
Best girl.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of that tension. Okay. So please describe Erica's physical appearance, her attire, any noticeable equipment, and her general demeanor as she's getting up and she's headed out to the coach so that she can begin this mission today.
Her clothes are very rough and homespun, probably patched a lot, made by her and her mother. Lived in a very close-knit family, and she's venturing out now on her own. Worn boots, worn gloves, and her most notable thing is she's got a big
Penis.
great axe on her back,
Or that.
which she can carry with ease.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the game.
Thanks.
And finally, sitting directly to my left, Funimation ADR director and voice actor Kyle Phillips.
That's a new name to me.
You're the only one clapping.
Kyle's here.
Wow, that's cold.
He is best known as the English voice of the stun gun hero Charge Bolt Denki Kaminari from My Hero Academia, Marco from One Piece, and also the director of Overlord and the Ancient Magus
Josh
Bride.
Ghetto
Welcome,
Kaiba
Kyle.
loves Overlord
Thank
here
you,
on the
Chris, for having
podcast.
me.
You are playing Thok, an orphaned half-orc monk who learned from his murdered master Orla the secrets of channeling his ki via the way of the open hand technique.
That's right.
He can use, and there he is. There's Thok already. He's able to use multiple attacks. He performs graceful acrobatic maneuvers and cat-like reflexes so deft that he can pluck arrows out of the air mid-flight.
That's right.
So what about
That's
playing a monk
really
appealed
cool.
to you?
Not necessarily a monk specifically, but I always like playing kind of different mixed types, like a vampire paladin or something like that, like two types that you wouldn't necessarily think play well together. So a half-orc monk, I don't think orcs are necessarily monks all the time.
Not necessarily dexterous all the time because they get that +2 to strength. So that is an interesting angle. So if you could, please describe for us Thok's physical appearance, anything he's wearing, any noticeable equipment, and just kind of his general demeanor as he is headed out on this mission.
Well, as a monk, Thok's physical appearance is, of course, very simple. Kind of the stereotypical green, half-orc skin color, random scars from years of traveling and fighting, fisticuff style. Pretty simple clothing, covered up all the way, pants and shirt.
He's not
Mostly
wearing
has
a robe?
his arms folded all the time.
Okay.
Very untrusting.
Okay.
Because at a young age suffered a traumatic event.
Okay.
So does not trust people.
Does he have any hair?
No hair.
No hair at all.
No hair. Two fangs sticking out his bottom lip.
So that's why he sounds like this. Does he?
Yellow eyes.
Does he wear shoes or
no shoes?
Barefoot.
Going through
like
a
barefoot.
hobbit.
Okay.
Underbite, yellow eyes, can't lose.
That's right.
And now it's time for our very first experience points
Let's do
of
that.
interest, where I read an epic, whimsical, or memorably terrible experience shared by you, the Dungeon Booth fans.
I got a temporary ban from a D&D forum of which I posted a character idea of Stand the Waterman based on the YouTuber Markiplier's character in Grand Theft Auto RP of the same name. That was a Tempest cleric that always carried around water. So
Rachel Cohn writes, "It was near the end of the game, and we had to get out of this haunted house we were exploring before the ghosts got us. One of the ghosts was charging at my boyfriend's character, who was in the main hall upstairs trying to escape down the stairs, and tried to attack him. But the DM rolled a natural 1, which caused the attack to miss, and instead blast a door next to him off its hinges and onto the floor at the top of the stairs. My boyfriend then rolled a natural 20 for acrobatics and used the broken door as a surfboard to surf down the stairs and all the way out of the house through the front door." Thanks, Rachel. That sounds like an amazing scene from Scooby-Doo. And your story has won a prize, courtesy of our friends at...
Alright, let me just cut out the sponsor.
And also, please send me your amazing stories of amazing or terrible tabletop experiences to xp@thedungeonbooth.com
And make
for
sure
a
to
chance
let
to
them
be
know
featured
Daddy
in an
White
upcoming
sent you.
episode and to win an awesome prize. For reasons of your own, you've come to work as a contractor for an agency hiring out mercenary adventurers. You know that today's contract will take you to a small village named White Sparrow,
Kind of racist, but
where the
okay.
sheriff will fill you in on the rest of the information that you need. You know you'll be traveling by coach with other contractors, but you won't know who until the coach picks them up. All you know now is that the sun will soon rise, your gear is packed, and a new
And
challenge
this is
awaits.
10-year-old Ash Ketchum
You're sitting
from
with your fellow
Palatown.
contractors in an enclosed coach pulled by 2 sturdy draft horses as it trundles its way up the hill of a forest path. The coach is driven by a friendly human with a scraggly beard and an easy smile who looks back and speaks to your group through the little window of the coach. "We have about a 2-hour drive ahead of us before we reach the village. My life driving this little coach is pretty boring, as you could probably imagine.
So he's an Uber driver.
Yeah.
Well, the life of adventurers like yourselves, it must be really interesting. Must be much more interesting than driving this coach.
Or maybe Lyft.
Would you mind passing the time? Tell me a little bit about yourselves." "No."
Neat.
Okay.
Cool. Hey, I'm Limerick. I know it's a big name to live up to. I try. I am a storyteller.
I enjoy a low-fat, 2% milk, caramel frappe, tall, at Starbucks.
Of sorts. I like to collect power words. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I don't get many power words up here on the coach. No.
Okay. So, I am named after these words of power. The Limerick. I know, it's a burden,
Do you
but
mean
I
like
try.
the little poem where the lines they rhyme and there's like a little poem?
Yeah, the little poem. So, I was told that my namesake and birthright is to find the ultimate words of power.
And 7 of them
and I
you
know they're
can't say on a
hidden
TV
in
set.
such a humble turn of phrase, but I'm looking. Do you know any?
Whoa and giddy up?
That's a big oof.
Limericks?
I don't know. I don't know any limericks to speak of. I don't get much call for them here. I do like stories, though. You seem like someone I could spend a lot of time with. I bet you've got a lot of interesting stories to tell, Limerick.
Oh.
Part of that is true.
Oh, God. Oh, no. No. Oof.
Well, let me turn to this. Let me turn to this strapping young lass over here, young lady.
Are you talking to me?
Well, yes, if you don't mind. We've a little time before we make it to our destination. I was hoping maybe you could share a bit about yourself and pass the time. I'm so interested in the lives of other people who don't spend all their days just driving this broken down coach around.
I think that seems pretty interesting. I just grew up in a little cabin with my family, and we were up in the mountains, and I don't know, all of this is pretty new to me. I just wanted to meet new people. I'm sorry, are you part elf?
I answer her in... Wait, hold on. I think I speak Dwarvish. I do! I
Okay,
answer you
good.
in Dwarvish.
Good.
Yes,
Oh my
I
gosh. Okay.
What are you guys talking about? You just started making all kinds of strange noises. Is this a different
I'm sorry,
language?
I do that. I'm sorry. I think elves are really cool. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I turn and address him in Orc.
Okay, so in my friend's podcast, he did tell me that one of the characters makes a lot of grunting noises, so I guess this is their version of that character.
And say, well, Orcs are pretty cool, too.
Well, now that sounds like somebody shutting a rusty door.
Wow, that is so racist. That's...
Please just leave me be.
Is that a language? That's amazing. I've never heard that on my coach before.
Wow.
I'm learning so much today. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. You're welcome to come on my coach anytime you'd like, and I'd be happy to drive you around and show you the lake. There's a lake nearby, and there's lots of fish in there if you like fishing.
I love fishing.
There's a picnic table. There's just the one. It's made out of stone, but it's beautiful.
Okay, I don't have any friends, so it's fine.
Excellent.
And that includes boyfriends.
We're a perfect match, you and I.
Okay.
Well, I hope we get to ride on my coach again someday.
Yes.
This old man trying to
And
pick up these girls.
well, you, my friend, you've seen your friends share so much about themselves so openly. Would you like to tell us anything about yourself?
I'm just here because I'm on a mission,
Oh,
and my business is my own.
Gotham needs me.
I can tell you're a serious man on a serious mission, and I hope that whoever's waiting for you at the end of that mission gets out of your way fast.
Let them try.
Like you're not going to let them get out of your way? No, you can't get out of my way. All right. As the coach kind of continues its way through this path, you see some mountains, some snow-covered peaks in the distance, and you can hear some birds sort of just waking up as the sun is creeping up over the top of the horizon. You begin to notice that the road is getting smaller. So whereas before you were on a much wider thoroughfare, now it seems to be narrowing quite a bit. And you seem to be entering kind of the countryside. This is perhaps a place that you've been to before, but it's the countryside. It looks like almost any other place you could go. It's just sort of a worn track down a path. And time passes pretty quickly, but at a certain point, you notice that the coach is beginning to slow down. And by mid-morning, it rolls to a stop at a wooden signpost you can see sticking up from the path, with an arrow pointing down a well-worn dirt and gravel footpath to the left. And on the front of the signpost, there's a picture of a painted white bird. So since it stopped, you each step out and you look up past the treetops of the surrounding forest of tall oaks, and you can see that the sun has become obscured by some sheets of iron gray clouds. It looks like there might be some storms kind of rolling in.
Go right.
I'm going to have to start deciphering what each grunt means. The coachman turns to your group and he says, White Sparrow, there's a 30-minute walk down the path that way towards the left, and he points over to the sign. And when you arrive, you'll find Sheriff Willowmane, and she'll be waiting for you. Every time I've ever had to bring any travelers who look as out of town, as you do, they need to go straight and talk to Sheriff Willowmane, so...
So this town, White Sparrow, discriminates against outsiders, huh? We're gonna build a large wall around White Sparrow. It's gonna be a gray wall. No outsiders are gonna come in the wall. We're going to make White Sparrow great again, folks. Believe it.
That's usually the best idea. And he bids you good luck. He reins his horses forward, and he heads down the road to his next destination. Coach kind of trundles off. Bye.
It's unexpectedly polite.
In that one, you sort of sounded like a robot. Bye.
I haven't perfected the Thok
That's
voice
fine.
yet.
Is this another advertisement? Are you serious? There was 2 sponsors at the beginning of the video. One of the advertisements was split in during a contest. Now you're just going to put the other one right in the middle of the story? Like, forget passion projects. He's getting paid. I wonder if Chris paid all the other voice actor guests or if this is just for fun. Clearly not fun for him. It's some serious sponsorship. Half this video is advertisement.
What do you want to do?
Oh, well, Thok just starts walking to White Sparrow.
By himself?
Just
Takes
walking.
off. Okay.
I mean,
Assuming
weird flex, but
his
okay.
companions are with him.
But
Yeah.
not looking back.
No, just
Okay.
walking.
Yeah, Limerick decides to walk just like uncomfortably close to Thok.
I mean, I ship it.
Just like, but not enough that he can call her on it without it being awkward.
Describe for me sort of the configuration. So if Thok is headed off down the path, not looking back, where is Limerick in relation?
I mean, like directly behind him to
In
one
his
side.
blind
Like,
spot.
oh yeah,
Okay.
just right there.
Okay.
Notice me,
And the
senpai?
height difference we should also
Senpai
add
will
is
not
pretty
notice you.
stark here.
Yeah.
Because Thok is what, 6'6"?
Oh,
yeah.
and she's 5'6".
So there's a foot difference. So you can't even see anything. You're just staring directly at his back.
yeah. Well, I was hoping to be off to one side
you're
a
off-
little
good.
bit,
Okay, good.
just enough that like if he looked back, I could like.
And do you look back?
I just fart. Orc farts.
Is it loud or is it silent but deadly?
Wait, hold on. I don't know anything about D&D, but aren't they supposed to roll on this? Like, what if the fart kills her? What if he rolls a 20?
It's silent at first and then it gets loud.
At the end, it's like, is it enough that she would notice it?
I got my
Yes.
elfin.
Let's do our first.
Perception.
Let's do our first roll to be
I
if
totally
Limerick can
called
notice
that.
this fart or not. Let's do it.
My rolling perception.
Yeah, give me a D20 perception check and add.
2.
Okay. So what? But what's your dexterity bonus? You got a 2 bonus. I think?
3.
A 3. Okay, so you got a 5.
I got 5.
So with a 5, you smell what probably smells. Maybe there's some dead animal in the foliage nearby as you're passing by.
Oh.
And then after,
Like today, like this company didn't make me sad enough.
and knowing, not hearing any reaction from Limerick, Thok cracks his first smile in his life.
In his life.
In his life. Knowing that he just let one rip. And,
This is a
And that,
momentous
kids,
day.
is how I met your mother. Just right there.
okay, sorry.
What a momentous day that we're all
Look,
taking part
even
in
they
here.
ship it.
Erica, what do you
Erica's
do?
Shoulders tense. She looks at Limerick. She looks at Thok. She scurries next to Limerick. She wants to keep her distance from Thok.
Okay. So how's she feeling right now?
Very nervous.
Very nervous,
She does
okay.
not like him.
Okay. She's scared of Thok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would I have to roll perception for that to see if I feel like she's
You
clinging
could.
to me?
You could,
I'm gonna try
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
I mean, it's so little to fall from a 2.
You could get a 1, I guess.
I got
my
a
God.
7. I
Okay.
know, you guys.
Just get these rolls out of the way
yeah,
on
that's
things
what
like
this is
noticing
for.
Dice
farts.
hate me. I'm just gonna put that out there. The die hate me.
Okay, so you said narrow path.
Yes.
So like, is it path and then like forest right next to us?
Yeah.
Well, then I wanna just kind of look around.
Okay.
Make sure I can't see any
Okay.
either dangerous creatures or potential.
You want to try a
bandits or-
perception check?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
13.
13. So with that, you look around the forest and you notice that this path is very well traveled. In fact, it looks like it's probably whatever the villagers would use as a main thoroughfare from the village to the main road. So it would be traveled by
It's
people
like the highway
merchants.
between
it
Fort
would be
Worth and
traveled by
Dallas.
people like
Making my
adventurers,
own
if
references.
adventurers ever came out this far. In the forest itself, it looks like, tall oaks. You can hear some chirping birds as they're kind of waking up, some chittering insects. That's about it.
All right, Thok looks around and assumes that this is a pretty safe path. It'll be a safe 30-minute walk to the village.
Okay. So you guys continue down the path. And light rain begins to fall as you walk down the path. And this gloomy kind of mist starts to cover the forest floor around you, just very lightly at first, but then you notice that it's kind of pooling in the hollows in between the trees and starting to thickening up a little bit.
Well, that's ominous.
And then up ahead, about 40 yards or so, you can see there's a large tree that looks like an old-growth oak tree, and it has fallen across the road. And it looks like you can see there's something under it as well. From this distance, you're about 40, 50 feet away. It looks to be maybe like a wagon, like something that would be used as like maybe a farm implement. And it's been crushed under the weight of this giant tree. And then it sort of looks to you like there could be a leg sticking out from under it. Kind of looks like a leg.
I'm going to call
You don't see any
shenanigans on that one.
There's no discernible movement whatsoever and no sound that you detect.
All right, Thok starts jogging towards...
Jogging. Okay. So
This,
you take 2 steps in a jog and you hear a voice and it says, "Drop your weapons and your belongings on the ground. And in the name of the Nightblades, we'll spare your lives."
No!
I'm going to go ahead and cut out this promotion-y stuff.
Next time on the Dungeon Booth. So what did you do to try to distract and confuse him that failed so badly?
The spin.
You spun
The spin.
and you faced him.
And I faced him and I said, "Hey! You!" And just totally blanked, but looked really angry.
Yeah.
For
He just kind of licked his lips and just kept advancing towards you.
Man.
What a waste of awesome initiative.
He licked his lips and kept advancing towards you. Okay. Well, closing remarks. This is not exactly what I thought it was going to be. It had a lot of build-up and introduction, more than I thought so. A lot of advertisements. I would like to listen to the second episode. We'll see. I'll probably be tagging Chris and Felicia on Twitter when this video's uploaded, so we'll see how fast I get a takedown request or a cease and assist, or Chris being like, "Can you not?" But we'll see what the community discourse is surrounding this type of video. It's something we've definitely not done on the channel. This is definitely a podcast-heavy channel, and I'm not sure how well this will be received. But beyond that, it was interesting. I would like to see more dice rolls and see how the story goes, and monster status effects, and things of that nature. There wasn't a lot of that in this first introduction podcast. So we'll see where it goes if I continue to do this. And then we'll also compare this to my friend's podcast that I'll be reviewing next. Until next time, remember that you are all beautiful, and God bless you.